Hello again and welcome to this week's edition of the Longwood Basketball Insider. I'm Greg Prouty along with the head coach of the Lancers, Coach Gillian. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Prouty. Happy to be with you once again.
Coach, second straight week we're able to sit here and talk about a victory over the weekend in the conference. This past Saturday picked up our first home win in the league, defeating Radford University 76-61. Talk about that game, but also earlier in the week had a home game with High Point. You don't have to talk much about that one. Kind of a repeat of the game down there, a one-point game at halftime. Final score was 82-53, but a big win here at home Saturday, a full house in Willett Hall, Alumni Day, Jerome Kersey bobblehead day, led from start to finish. Game was really never in doubt, and a great victory for the Lancers.
Yeah, let's not discard the High Point game from Wednesday. I agree with you, Greg. Let's the majority of the time on the great effort, the great turnout, Alumni Day and everything against Radford. But there are some important things in that High Point game especially. We have got to the point where we understand not only what it takes to be in position to be successful, but what it takes to finish off a performance and win the games. In the High Point game, it was much like it was down at High Point, a one-point game at halftime. We controlled the tempo. We took care of the ball. We had 2 turnovers in the first half. They had 2 offensive rebounds in the first half. One of those was the type that gets deflected out of bounds, so it's a team rebound. We did exactly what we wanted to do. We just didn't keep that up for the second 20 minutes. We knew we were going to get their best shot to start the second half. Those guys came out pressing, crashing the glass. In the first 4 minutes, we turned the ball over 6 times and gave up 5 or 6 offensive rebounds, put us in a 10-point hole that we were never able to recover from. But here's where the importance is. That segment of the game put us in a position to no longer have a chance to be successful. And that's happened a few times here over the course of the last couple weeks. But all those things, regardless, you can't dwell on them, positive or negative. You got to learn from them and be ready for what happens. And that was a huge part in the success that we had on Saturday against Radford, because understanding what's going to happen or what could potentially happen and how you approach that mentally more than anything else can carry you through those moments and led to the, I'm convinced, led to the outcome that we had on Saturday.
Well, Saturday, a great day Saturday. Nearly 1,800 people in the gym. We scored 13 of the first 15 points in the ball game. Like I mentioned, led from start to finish. Tristan Carey, career high 31 points, season high 10 rebounds, first double-double this year. Lucas Woodhouse, again, another outstanding effort against Radford, as he had down at their place a month ago in a 10-point setback. He had 12 points. 11 assists. Those both tie his career highs, his second double-double of the season, both against the Highlanders. Michael Kessens played very well. Jelani Dublin played very well. Carl Ziegler off the bench. And again, not playing a lot of guys, but those guys played under control and well while they were out there and just kept right on moving through the game.
Yeah, and as you're so seamlessly able to do, you covered about 10 different things in one 30-second span right there. And so we don't push it back to the end, because I think it's most important. Let's start with this. Well, we want to succeed. The players are the ones doing the work. They're in the gym every day. They're in the weight room. They put the work in the preseason, all that stuff. They deserve to have that happen for them, and they know that. But secondly, everybody that's been supporting this team, especially this year, and the people that come out to the games, whether it's people in the community, whether it's the students, they deserve that as well. After we played Norfolk State back in November, they were awesome, and the feeling was we owe them one. And we weren't really able to get back in here while all the students were here. Fairleigh Dickinson, those first 3 league games, no students. Then we got going, and we weren't able to pull out one of those home games. To have everybody show up on Saturday afternoon the way that they did, to turn out. And it's great that the alumni game, which was awesome, Jerome Kersey bobblehead day, which draws some people in, even the Radford people, the rivalry of them bringing some people to the game, a couple hundred fans, packs the gym, makes it an awesome atmosphere. But for our fans, especially the students, the Lancer lunatics, that's for them. They deserve that as much as anyone else. To be able to have the performance match the energy that they bring to the table is incredible. That's what college basketball is all about. It sets the table for the short term, Tuesday night, perhaps. We'd love to have them all out once again tomorrow night. But sets the table for what goes on in the future here as a participant in the Big South and these rivalries and everything. So that's first, and I think that deserves a lot of attention and some recognition, because without that, you can't get to ultimately where you want to go. We started the game very well, as you mentioned, scored 13 of the first 15 points. The understanding of how teams are going to play against us now, the success that other teams have had in the second halves is by putting on full court pressure, forcing us into some turnovers, and offensive rebounding. Well, that's exactly what Radford tried to do, with no success whatsoever. Break the press. If you have scoring opportunities, we're becoming better and better at taking advantage of those, scoring in transition when other teams press you. But if you don't have that, then you don't have to shoot it right away either. Make the defense work a little bit, and we'll still score on them. And we scored often right at the beginning of the game, got off to a great start, and never looked back. And as the pressure continued, we handled it very, very well. The stretch we had in the second half where we had some turnovers was not against full court defense. There's a telling sign also in that when teams want to pressure you into mistakes and can't do it, what do? Do they stay with it, or do they back that off? As we went along during the game against Radford, they were having no success at that, so they backed that off. That's a sign that we're doing exactly what we want to do. And once again, that would not happen without the adversity or without what we faced against High Point on Wednesday night. So, and then you mentioned a lot of the players. And let's talk about Tristan Carey for a second, because he's an individual that is capable and will do that time and time again. It's not just about scoring points. It's a career high, 31 points for him, but also 10 defensive rebounds. The effort and energy it takes to be, first of all, in the right place to rebound the ball, it takes a lot. And then to actually get it, you've got to double up on that. As you mature as a player, you start to understand you're capable of guarding guys really well, of rebounding, and it takes nothing away, actually only enhances your ability to attack them on the other end and score points also. As much as you would like to have that all occur previously, you've got to grow into that, and he's doing that now. His rebounding was more important than the 31 points he scored, and we needed every one of those as well, but him being able to clear the glass and everybody else involved in that is a huge part of the success that we have. We played very well defensively. They had 21 offensive rebounds, but that's a result of good defense and missing a lot of shots, and those were not ones that were tipped right back in either. So great performance all the way around, well-deserved for the players, for everybody that came out to the gym, to Willett Hall. That's for you too, and we need you again on Tuesday night. Let's keep it going.
Coach, just a final thing on Radford, and you mentioned the 31 points by Tristan, and Radford was never within, the closest they got in the second half was 11 points on a couple of occasions. One of those with 4.5 minutes left to go in the game. T.T. Carey picked up a pass on the right wing, right in front of the bench. I mean, he could have almost been sitting in assistant coach Doug Tebow's lap. He took a three-pointer and drained it to put it back to 14 points with about 4.5 to play, and that to me was maybe the shot that, you know, just kind of solidified, secured that victory on Saturday.
Let's go back a couple weeks. We played very well at Gardner-Webb. We controlled the first half. We gave up the last 7 points of the first half to go in down 3 at halftime. Came right back out, took the lead. We had a stretch of about 8 minutes in the game down there where we did not score a point. We got good shots. We had maybe 1 or 2 turnovers. We just didn't make some. And we only gave up 8 points in that stretch too. We managed to maintain the defensive effort to not be too far behind and hung in there and still had a shot at it at the end. Obviously, if you go through those dry spells, you'd like to go through them up by 20. We came out of the locker room on Saturday, played very well for the first 8 minutes or so, stretched that lead from 15 to 20 points. Then we had a stretch of 5 minutes where we did not score. We had some turnovers, we gave up some baskets, but never wavered in the effort. The effort to get what you wanted was still there. Nobody hung their head because we turned the ball over. Nobody stopped running back to prevent easy baskets. Nobody stopped working to defensive rebound. So we've been through that. The Gardner-Webb game specifically, same type of scenario, but where you started from much different. Instead of even, we started up 19. They scored only 8 points in that 5 minutes. The lead was still 11. We're still playing well enough. We had a few mistakes, and then he makes that shot, pushes it back to 14. And you're right. From that point, it got 14, 12, 14, 16, 14. We never led by less than 11 points the whole second half. And really, we never led by less than 11, I don't think, after the 13-2 lead. So we played like a team who has been there before. But we have been there before. We just not come out on top in these situations. This one was a little different because we were in front. But tremendous performance once again. But like the ones that don't go your way, you have to very quickly put that in the rearview mirror and get on to what's next, and that's Liberty Tuesday night.
Coach mentioned Liberty Tuesday night. Tomorrow night, short turnaround this week. Liberty's here. They handled us at their place about a month ago with not a lot of difficulty in the second half especially. We'll look forward to that game in here tomorrow night. They've never won in Willett Hall. Liberty is, I believe, 0-10, 0-11 in Willett Hall over the years. The teams have developed a good rivalry there. It'll become a bigger arch rival opponent in the Big South now that we're in the same conference with them, and just look forward to that game tomorrow night.
Yeah, it'll rivalries. It's what it's all about. Hotly contested game down at Radford. High energy in the gym. Big crowd Saturday afternoon. It's awesome. And everything you read. Now, how great is this now? For 9 years, we talked about trying to build these, and we played some games at Liberty, and we couldn't keep them going. That's up to them. Now there's no choice. We're in the same division within the Big South Conference. It's not us talking about having rivalries. Anywhere you read, newspaper, websites, whatever, they're talking about these in-state rivalry games, in-conference rivalries. So it's real. It exists. It's somewhat organic, but you knew it was coming. So that's awesome. We've had great games with them here in the past, obviously. And coming off the win on Saturday, I know we'll be ready to go. Important also at this time of year to keep the spirit alive. Our players have done an unbelievable job continuing to believe in themselves and their teammates, what we're doing, that we're going to continue to be in this position, because it's not only about right now, it's what goes on down the line. Here's one of the things that we did, and it's somewhat untraditional, but you have to go down this path at this time of year. You can't just keep wearing on the same thing over and over again. Yesterday we had a quick film session, walk through in the gym. We took the guys on the team to the Prince Edward Farmville Youth Association 9 and 10-year-old championship game here in town and the award ceremony to end the year. And it's awesome. You got 9 and 10-year-old kids. A lot of them come to the games, and the guys walk in, and there's good energy in there, and there's a big crowd for the championship over there. So it's something that's about the spirit of the game and just understanding how special it is to have an opportunity to not only compete at this level, but to do it and to give back a little bit to the community. So when Tuesday night comes around, I'm sure we'll be fired up and ready to go once again.
Coach, senior night tomorrow night. One senior, Stephen Shockley, former walk-on player, earned a scholarship this year, and really the epitome of the student athlete at this school.
You're almost speechless. You can't put into words what a young man like Stephen Shockley means to the basketball program at Longwood, to being a student athlete, to the athletic department. He's a tremendous student. He's a tremendous worker. He's a pretty good player. He's earned the right to be on scholarship, which we put him on to begin the year. So many things have occurred as we've moved now into the Big South, but some of them have occurred in the past as well, and we don't have evidence of them, but we know they existed. Presenting Stephen Shockley with that scholarship at the first team meeting before the season started was incredible. And you see some of that stuff, people video it, it's up on YouTube, and people say, well, wouldn't that be great to have a video? Yeah, it would be, and you could show it. But on the other hand, the team, the people in that room, they understand how important that is. Stephen has earned that. He deserved it. He continues, and for the rest of whatever comes in his future, will continue to embody what a student athlete is all about, not only here at Longwood, but across the country.
Coach, following Tuesday night, we step out of the league for our final non-conference game. Saturday afternoon, it'll be a 1 o'clock start Eastern Time, 12 o'clock Central Time at UT Martin, Tennessee Martin. They're in the Ohio Valley Conference. We talked a couple weeks ago. Cal Luther, a former Longwood men's basketball head coach here for 9 years, went to UT Martin, took them from Division II to Division I, coached there for 9 years. He still lives in Martin, Tennessee. He'll be at the game on Saturday. But just the experience of participating in the Ramada Worldwide Bracket Busters game this weekend.
These events give you an opportunity to go outside of your own area, and because you're part of the Bracket Buster series, you get some exposure that you normally would not have. We couldn't be in that without being in the Big South. So another great opportunity. It's a team that's like us. They try to pair you up with teams that are in similar situations in their progress, let's call it that. And So we'll get out of here at some time Friday, get out to Martin, Tennessee, play the game there Saturday, and get back, and then get ready for the final 2 conference games on the road.
Coach, quick look at the Big South standings in the North Division. High Point's become the first team to lock up a #1 seed in their division. They've separated by 3 games with 3 games left, 10-3 in the league. Second place in the North is a battle right now between VMI, Radford, and Campbell. In the South, you have Charleston Southern still a game up on UNC Asheville. Gardner-Webb just 1 game back. That South Division is still wide open.
A couple things to look at as you get to the end of a regular season now, and everybody does concentrate on the next game. And I say this all the time, especially now that we're in the league. You realize the next game is the most important one. But anybody that tells you they're not looking at league standings and understanding what might materialize over the next couple weeks and on into a tournament, they're just fooling you. That's all. Everybody looks at that stuff and understands what's coming. High Point is in first place, and deservedly so. 6-game winning streak, playing very well. They have quality depth. They made 8 3-pointers, 8 for 8 in the second half here against us Wednesday night. Guys that don't make any shots. So if you get production like that, that's going to lead to you winning a lot of games. Right there in second, and a couple of things occur now. You see VMI with 6 wins, Radford with 6, Campbell with 6, and we're down there. We have 2 league wins. The guys on our team now know this. We can beat Radford. We just beat them. We can play with any of these teams. We had some games that have gotten away from us in the second half, but have close games throughout the course of the league schedule. They understand that us having those 6 wins or maybe playing for that bye is not that far-reaching. Now, we're not going to be in that position. But anybody could win this league tournament. Anybody really could. High Point's the best team right now. Charleston Southern in first place in the South, I believe. We won at Winthrop 2 Saturdays ago. Charleston Southern went in and did not win at Winthrop the following Wednesday. So the tournament is wide open. There should be no complacency from any of these teams, but there is an understanding from top to bottom that you play for maybe for positioning as you move through the last 2 weeks of the regular season. And VMI, Radford, and Campbell will certainly be doing that. Whoever finishes second will get a bye in the first round of the tournament. But once that tournament does begin, if you get hot, so to speak, stay composed, and play well, it's anybody's tournament to win.
Coach, certainly wish you luck tomorrow night, Tuesday night against Liberty here at home. Let's try to get 2 conference wins in a row here, and also send Stephen Shockley off on a great way, and then Saturday at UT Martin.
We'll be ready to go. Hope everybody out there is in the gym making some noise, fired up and ready as well.
Look forward to seeing the Lunatics tomorrow night.
Yeah, me too.
Coach, good luck this weekend, this week, and this weekend. That's this week's edition. We'll be back again next week to look at the final week of the Big South regular season.